I'm John Carpenter, and you're watching Vampires, a Storm King production. We began the movie with some helicopter shots of one of the most beautiful places on earth, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we're running credits. This was shot at dusk in a pre-production unit, and I'll be narrating this version of Vampires, trying to explain what went on during the making of it. This is my 19th film and my 15th score. In the background you're hearing the rather simple but I thought effective music that begins the film. And we're sweeping low over the desert and about to come in on our first set. This was originally built for an Italian Western TV show that shot near Santa Fe. We revamped the house to our own Gothic purposes. And there it is there. The helicopter's going to rise up over it. And we're on our way. There's James Woods looking through binoculars at nothing, but we think he's looking at something, and here it is. Daniel Baldwin. These are our two slayers.
Another New Mexican shot.
There are others, of course, in the van.
Perfect spot.
This was the very first thing that we shot in the movie. First opening day. Jimmy Woods has nice hair, don't you think? All blown dry and everything. And now we begin the Roadhouse Blues music. Playing on this particular cut are some legendary rock and roll musicians: Steve Cropper, Duck Dunn, Skunk Baxter. I'm actually in there, but I'm not very legendary. The director of photography, Gary Kibbe, is using some heavy-duty filters over this particular sequence to give it a kind of a reddish, duskish feel. It's actually shot in the dead middle of the day. Now you can see the top of your screen there is reddish. And now we're about to introduce the Slayers, who are in that van, supposedly. In reality, of course, it'd be pretty hot in there, wouldn't it? There's a little screen direction problem in that shot, but nobody seems to care. Daniel's looking the wrong way. Well, here we go, and here are our Slayers piling out, led by Padre Gregory Sierra. There's Mark Boone Jr., Henry Kenji, Kerry Tagawa, and others. Tom Walsh was the production designer on this, and I thought he did an extraordinary job on the farmhouse. And this begins the Sergio Leone Once Upon a Time in the West zoom-in sequence on Woods' eyes, reminiscent of actually the same sequence in Once Upon a Time in the West, only the zoom was in on Charles Bronson's eyes. The weapons that they're bringing out were designed to be part conquistador and part crusader, with a little modern armament mixed in. Heavy-duty stakes, shotgun shells. These guys are after something big. Now Crow gives a rundown on the mission for the day.
Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Everything set?
Ready, boss.
All right, we think we got a nest inside this place. Figure on at least 6 goons, maybe more.
Even though this is a vampire movie, a horror film,
Rule number 5.
the reason I wanted to do it was because it closely resembles a Western. You could see this movie as essentially the Wild Bunch meets Vlad the Impaler. And I thought casting James Woods as an action hero was different in a way. He usually plays the psychotic heavy In this film, he's your master slayer and is as savage in his own way as the vampires are. Here's the Wild Bunch walking towards the house. Technically speaking, I used more cuts in this movie than I have in most of the others. Basically, I adjusted my style of shooting to more resemble that of Sam Peckinpah, somebody I respect a great deal, but haven't really thought of as an inspiration. Here's this phony gadget that doesn't really work, but we'd make you think it works, or maybe we don't make you think it works. Kind of a nice, neat hole there, huh? And Wood sticks his hand in this hole to open the door, and he said it reminds me of a nest of snakes. I think Jimmy really relished playing the hero. He said, I usually go in second or third. This time I get to walk in the door first, carrying a great crossbow. Now we're intercutting between the location and our set, which was built big sound stage at a university in Santa Fe. And that's location. That's the set, and we're moving. All this is on set. A lot of smoke, high angle. Thomas Waltz really designed beautiful sets for me. They were realistic, but movie gothic at the same time. And what you're hearing is very quiet and subdued. In reality, these guys are clanking and banging around, but we've replaced all their sound with Foley. Now, that cheap scare here coming up. Henry Kinsey's going to open this door.
Slow and easy. Sorry, boss.
Cheapest scare, a gothic, old-time horror scare.
Jesus.
Really cheap, isn't it?
What was that?
Throw the dummy out of the closet. Woods told the entire crew that that's what I look like, that dummy on the floor.
Wake you up on
Desiccated husk.
Relax, dead body. Bled out and cold. Been here a while.
Dead body, bled out and cold.
Suck it up.
And explore the interior. Obviously looking for something, and we discover soon it's going to be vampires. In this movie, the vampires are more like a wild animal and rather savage. Most of the slayers have to wear armor, so they won't get bitten. Of course, Woods doesn't have to because he's so tough. Ooh, what's in that closet? There's a little misdirection. Build up everything towards the closet and then attack from another direction. Another cheesy horror trick. Now we're building up for a big kaboom here, but of course nothing is behind this door. Hopefully we make you think there might be something, even a dolly in. Ah, there she is. This is our first big action sequence here. It's builds and builds and builds, and it becomes somewhat intense here pretty soon. You really have to overkill these vampires. Naturally, bullets don't particularly work, but it does stun them.
What? I don't know, Padre. Hang on a minute.
What's going on in there, boys? Hey, Dale, don't leave me fucking hanging. What's going on in there?
Yeah, we got a live one. Female goon. Yeah, we'll save her for you, Montoya.
Open wide, baby.
And here we go. Had about 3 or 4 days to shoot this entire sequence. And Jeff Amata and the stunt crew worked very hard over the weekends to try to choreograph everything ahead of time.
Go for Montoya.
And this is the way you have to overkill vampires. You have to drag them out like huge fish into the sunlight. And now we set our first stunt performer on fire, something I never liked doing on a set. Out she comes. Ouch. Nice little head by Greg Nicotero. Hard to kill these guys.
Right here.
Fuck it. Not only ugly, it smells bad. Ugh, jeez. Give me the radio. Everybody okay? Yeah, boss.
I'll tell you, we got another one. He's dead. Send her the cable. Hook him up.
Yeah, give me a minute, all right?
May her soul and the souls of all the faithful...
So now we begin to see how these vampire slayers work. And theirs is, of course, a dirty and grim job. First of the ad-libbing for the actors begins here.
Nothing like a little head, eh, Padre?
Had a deal with the actors. If they gave me one take, like the screenplay, I'd give them a couple of takes to improvise.
Okay, boys. Time to mop it up. Dale, I tell you, Bambi upstairs. Calvin, Anthony Davis, basement.
And we begin a little montage of cleaning out the nest. More burns, more stakings, and more music.
Enjoy the barbecue, baby.
I had 5 weeks to do the score on this film, which is an extremely long period of time. Had 3 days on Halloween, so it's a little bit better than that. A beautiful location. Shot extremely well by Gary Kibbe. I think we finally finished them off, at least to this nest.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Goons, man. It's not a bad day's work. You're the man, Boone.
That's Mark Boone Jr., who was just speaking, who is actually a pretty good rock and roll musician in his own right.
Where was the master? You want us to check the house one more time? He's not there.
You don't suppose there's another nest somewhere, do you?
Sure as hell better not be.
This movie is based upon a novel by John Steakley, which deals essentially with the Slayers and their goal to eradicate vampires. And he went much more into depth about them being the mercenaries than we did. They actually lived in Monterey in the novel. Monterey, California, had a mansion there, loved to party. Simple as that looked, it took about 15 takes to get it. Now we're on the Indian reservation in the Sun God Motel, and a nice little butt shot there. The girls in this particular sequence, for the most part, were local strippers. We cast them to appear to be from New Mexico, as opposed to a big city. There are a couple of stunt gals in there.
Thank you for all your help. Yeah, Father, I've spent the last 2 weeks running whores and buying out liquor stores for this bunch. When the hell are they gonna leave?
We're clearing out tomorrow.
I can't say that I'm sorry to hear it.
This again was a set built on the sound stages. And we had the exterior built on location.
Y'all work together?
That's right.
What you do?
We kill vampires.
Well, I briefed Rome. They were wiring a payment to the
Had to shoot this entire sequence twice because occasionally in the background you will see a little nudity. And now we introduce Cheryl Lee, really terrific actress. Somebody I enjoyed working with. She plays Katrina.
A master won't usually leave a nest filled with goons.
Yeah, but what says he's still in New Mexico? You know, he could be anywhere by now.
Why would he run? It's not like he knew we were coming.
No, really. What do you guys do?
Now the soundtrack you're hearing a song called Teaser by the blues band Stone, a really terrific band.
Hunt him down, kick the shit out of him.
Right.
How you feel, baby? Nobody believes in vampires.
See, the thing is, we know vampires are stalking the earth. We also know there's a God, too.
We just don't understand him.
Nice party.
And then Cheryl and Jimmy have a scene together.
So you look like you got something other than me on your mind. Feel like telling me about it?
This was one of the last things that we shot. Everybody was pretty tired and worn out after our location shoot in Santa Fe, but actors pulled through extremely well. Thought Cheryl had a really interesting quality as an actress. She could be tough and then vulnerable when necessary, and she really got into playing a vampire, as you'll see later on.
Jesus, you're right. I should have been looking in a whole different place.
So why don't you go get me something to drink? And we can meet back in your room.
That's the first good idea I heard today.
It's a little stress reduction scene here. The crew enjoyed shooting a great deal, of course. And now we're introduced to the master vampire, Valak, played by Thomas Ian Griffith. A pretty cool looking jacket he's got there. Thomas is an imposing figure, but when I cast him, had a very short haircut. So we had to put in extensions. And now he looks like the vampire that he is.
Dale, give me a couple of beers, will you? Watch your ready.
You are magnificent. You know? Have I ever told you that?
You better slow down, Padre.
No, I'm not drunk.
Oh, really?
No.
What are you, on acid?
Now we're about to see the sequence between Cheryl Lee and Thomas Griffith, where she is bitten by a vampire. Oh, there he is on the ceiling. And we discover one of the most unique vampire bites in movie history down below the neck, which I told that several women in the audience appreciated a great deal.
Something you'll never forget. I know I won't. I think right up here.
And we're about to come up on the Motel Massacre. This sequence took a long time to shoot. For obvious reasons, just because it's so complex, but once the action gets going, I chose to shoot a great deal of it in slow motion, just slightly. 34 frames a second, I believe, 36 frames a second. Just to slow everything down slightly. Here we go. He opens the door and we're off and running. You're going to see a body rip open here, courtesy of Greg Nicotero. Oopsie. What you don't see, of course, is all the technicians on either side pulling that baby apart. And we're off and running. Dissolves in slow motion for a massacre. I thought it was a interesting way to approach this. And Valak, of course, appears to be absolutely unkillable. Oops. Some people may criticize some of the violence in this film. It is somewhat extreme, but my idea was to make a vampire movie that was a little bit more savage than it was gothic. A lot of mayhem going on here. Now we're going to say goodbye to Gregory Sierra. Unfortunately, his demise is at hand. Whoops. Now we're off and running in the exterior. They're going to grab Cheryl Lee with him, and thus the movie begins. All the relationships have been cemented by this point. And we're into a sequence now that was hotly disputed during shooting. This is the truck on the road sequence. The interiors are shot poor man's process, which is basically not at night but in a soundstage. And they were roaring down a highly lit desert, which I was trying to avoid, but could find no other way to shoot it. This is a pre-production unit that shot this. Here comes Valak on a flying in, literally, on a wire. And off he goes. And this particular shot here was the very last shot in the movie. In the middle of the night. Transition into dawn, simply a dissolve. And we're about to come up on a stunt that was extremely difficult for us to pull off. Only because the truck would not go down the embankment. Finally it's going to. Here we come, and a cameraman actually lost a part of his arm running away from this because the truck came right up into his camera lens. He had a few stitches. And I believe the stunt driver was also slightly injured. And oddly enough, that's exactly the way the truck landed after the stunt, right side up. Now we're into a little bit of an acting scene here, trying to set up the plot for the second act of the picture, where you're basically going to be developing the characterizations.
You alive? Come on. Come on.
What are you doing?
She's going with us. Oh, fuck.
You just bit her, man.
She hasn't turned yet. Come on.
Well, she's on her way.
It's under 48 hours. The telepathic link with the master won't hold.
So what? After that, he's gonna start receiving his thoughts, seeing what he sees.
Exactly. Like a surveillance camera, so we can find him and shove a stake right up his ass. I'm gonna use this piece of shit to get to the master and to whoever tipped him off. Come on, Tony, we were set up.
There's been some criticism of Woods as being a little bit rough on Cheryl Lee and on Father Adam, played by Tim Guinea in this movie, but
Come on.
he could defend himself on that, saying that she is a vampire, in fact, no longer human, so why should he extend any courtesy? And now they're walking down the New Mexican highway to the strains of Steve Cropper on guitar, Duck Dunn on bass, Bruce Robb on the B3, and yours truly on rhythm guitar, trying to stay in tune. Rick Schlosser on drums. And the next sequence is shot at a little gas station just about midway between Santa Fe, New Mexico and Albuquerque. Perfect little spot. An out-of-the-way highway. And driving up now in his beautiful old 70s Cadillac is Frank Darabont. Frank is a director and writer and a close friend of mine. Begged me for a part in a movie. He can't act worth shit, but I gave him the part anyway. After this scene was over, he said, "Did I just ruin your entire film?" And naturally, I told him he did. And I thought Frank did a pretty good job. It's hard to come in and do one of these things. He tried to cast me in a TV movie he was doing as a truck driver. And I told him, no way, either I'm going to play a part where I have just killed or I'm going to kill someone or have just slept with or are going to sleep with a beautiful woman. No other part will I consider. Here's Frank.
Hey, cowboy. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm gonna borrow your car. Shh. Just say help yourself.
Want me to say what?
Hey, shut the fuck up, or I'll blow your fucking teeth out of the back of your head, asshole. Back off!
Brilliant performance by Frank there.
Much obliged, partner.
And now we're on the road. It looks like a 77 Cadillac. I used to have one just about like that. And a helicopter shot coming up. The man who taught me how to fly a helicopter is piloting, Jim Deeth. The sky cam underneath. Not much room in the cockpit when you have all the equipment in there. Now we're driving down the Indian Reservation in another part of New Mexico, picking up the sequence again back to our set. Sun God Motel is a famous real-life sign that was being stored. It's a historical a landmark. The motel itself burned down, but they kept the sign, so we used it. The very first night, one of the letters didn't work. We were waiting about 2 hours for them to fix it.
I need to talk to you. We're wasting time. Rule number 7. Damn. Never bury
There's a little bit of a Howard Hawks scene here. Those of you familiar with Hawks' work might recognize a little bit of Red River in some of this. The relationship between two men and their love and loyalty. Although it is highly unlikely that Woods will be playing the John Wayne character, but that's the general idea.
If you want to pull out, go ahead.
I didn't say that.
Somebody's changed the rules. We got to do whatever it takes. We got less than 11 hours until the sun goes down. If you got something else to say, spit it the fuck out.
Yeah, I got something else to say. Don't take too fucking long.
Hawks made movies about, basically about groups and teamwork and the love story between men, and tried to slide a little of that in here. Here we are back on our soundstage for the staking and decapitation sequence. This particular musical piece Bucket Baker is playing the drums, I'm playing the guitars and bass, and my godson Daniel Davies is playing the lead. He's the son of Dave Davies of the Kinks and has a natural rock and roll lead guitar ability just like his dad. whack. And really, the decapitations in this are off screen. It's all sound effects and cheesy rubber heads coming up. There we go. There's one right there. Kind of a horrible idea, but got to kill those vampires. Second unit shot, directed by Sandy King, my producer and wife. I was particularly impressed with the actresses in this scene. When wood splashed water over them, they didn't move. We're coming up to the big hotel explosion scene. Anytime you have a lead actor walking away from a building and it explodes, you're always nervous about those kind of things. I knew Woods would never forgive me if I hurt him during this. We didn't. And we're coming up to the shot, the reverse of this, the long lens shot. There we go. We set we lit up our set. This was something that we built out in the middle of the desert, and it was all primed to go with gasoline and napalm. And right off screen in this particular sequence is a fire department waiting to put out the flames. So the only unfortunate thing about this was there are a couple of cars, as you can see them there, that did get a little warm. Burn some paint off. And down the road here we bury the heads. Our biggest problem in this sequence was keeping the smoke going in the background. You notice it doesn't match. In this shot before, it was there was more smoke. Now there's less. Now there's less. Now the Slayer team is split up. Jimmy's on his way. We supposedly into Santa Fe, I believe, and Daniel's going to the Plaza Hotel, a real Plaza Hotel, and Black Cat walking back there accidentally, not planned by us at all, but I'll take complete and total credit for it.
I need a room.
For how long?
It's a beautiful old hotel.
It's $375 a week, plus $25 for your cable TV.
What's a fucking total, guy?
That's let's see, $400. Is that your girlfriend?
No, it's my fucking mother. Give me the key. Hey, come on. Take my arm.
Now, I've isolated Daniel and Cheryl Lee. They're going to be holed up in this hotel, and she's going to undergo vampire transformation, which of course takes a while.
Need immediate pickup.
That's a real live mural across the street there. And we would drive by this way on to work every morning.
Sources close to the investigation report that all the bodies
And now we're into
the remains of the
our set, which was again built in the same area that the rest of the sets were built. Thomas Walsh did a beautiful job of this set. I really love it. As did Gary Kibbe with the lighting. Another second unit shot, stealing the front of the church. Little creepy music there, synthesizer music to take us into the train. This was on top of a semi truck that we had built the top and rocked it back and forth, because we couldn't figure out how to get our actor on top of a train at night. This wasn't practical. But this is another second unit shot done by Sandy King. A beautiful location here, which used to be kind of a dude ranch, Mission Dude Ranch, is now turned into a rehab facility. And we're about to meet two new characters. Cardinal Alba, played by Maximilian Schell, brilliant Academy Award-winning actor. And Father Adam, played by Tim Guinea.
Who's this?
Oh, this is Father Adam, Quito. Father Adam is in charge of our archives. Bookworm.
And this is one of the most thankless scenes for a director to do. It's total exposition. We learn about the backstory. We learn about the present story. We are introduced to the developments that have taken place off screen.
Unkillable, like a machine. We didn't stand a chance. So tell me if I'm wrong, Cardinal. But couldn't he be the one that we always talked about? The one that we...
The scene originally ran for pages and pages, but we have condensed some of it in here.
Tom. Our Tom Callahan. He's dead. And the whole European team is wiped out.
When?
3 days ago. Callahan's team was clearing a large nest near Cologne, Germany. Local authorities reported it as a terrorist act.
There's my producer's assistant playing one of the dead bodies. Getting this portrait of Valak was very difficult. Originally, it didn't look anything like Thomas Ian Griffith, so we had to redo it. Now we hear about the backstory of Valak and begin to lay some clues about what he's up to. There's a big secret that no one is telling Woods about at this point.
We don't know.
I've authenticated the portrait. It was painted in 1340. The subject's name was Valak, Jan Valak, born in Prague, 1311. He was a priest who turned against the church and led the Bohemian peasants in an uprising, actually capturing several small towns.
And whenever you're in a supernatural picture, you're going to be rubbing up against something like what Tim is saying here. There's a lot of mystical gobbledygook about an inverse exorcism or something. I've never quite understood it, but it does motivate the entire film, so we need it.
Valak is not like the other masters we have hunted before. He's the first and most powerful. Of our slayers, you are the only one who faced Valak and survived.
Going back out.
I love those sunglasses on Woods. Makes him look pretty tough and cool.
The Vatican Council requests that you rebuild your team.
There isn't time.
You are to return to Monterrey, recruit new team members, and try again when you are at full strength. Father Adam will accompany you and take the place of poor Father Giovanni.
I don't think so.
Jack, this is non-negotiable.
Valak is the original. The source of the disease. The first vampire created by the Catholic Church.
By accident.
Shut the fuck up. This was your fight, Cardinal. Now it is mine.
Jack?
Our biggest problem with this sequence was the door that he's opened there would never really completely open nor close. So we had some technicians off screen to make sure that it
Do you
did.
have any idea how this Valak knows my name?
And you're hearing a little synth deal in the background on a brand new Korg workstation. I recommend them highly as synthesizers, even though they didn't give me one. I had to pay for it. Aha! And now we're into the nude scene in our set. These are always difficult to do. We moved the crew out, but Cheryl was very comfortable doing it. The idea being, of course, that she's in the most vulnerable possible position and really doesn't remember anything that's happened, so... I suppose we did it this overtly just to get it out of the way and then spend the rest of the movie not worrying about whether or not you see any nudity. Besides, it's just her butt. And a very nice one, I might add.
What's your name? Do you understand what's happening?
There are charges of misogyny against us, I suppose, by some members, but...
Don't fuck with me, honey. I'll snap your neck like a twig. Now nod your head yes or no.
And we did take a politically incorrect point of view on this film in terms of the level of violence, and it's... This was an intentional pushing to the edge of maybe some of the cultural norms that we assume nowadays in the late 90s.
Good.
These particular sequences in the hotel room between Daniel and Cheryl Lee were done differently than some of the action sequences. This is kind of straightforward old-time movie making with hard lenses, meaning we don't use zoom lenses in here, and dollies, and the tempo resembles some of my earlier films without the intercutting.
Big guy, pointy teeth.
And this particular sequence, as the others in this hotel room, took the longest to shoot, and they're the most difficult. Anytime you have emotional scenes like this that deal not only with plot but with character, you're spending time. And as I remember, we went over one day on this. Another beautiful helicopter shot, and now we're coming into a sequence where James Woods improvises from the script. The script called for a description of vampires, and Jimmy gave me his one take, and then I let him go, and by take 3 or 4 of his improvisation, he's kind of come out with what you're listening to in 1 second.
I've always dreamed of this. I mean, ever since I first heard about you, heard about the Slayer.
This truck is being towed up and down a highway, and the entire crew is sitting on the tow truck in front watching with headphones. And we pull over and stop at a scenic spot so that Jimmy can inflict some punishment upon Father Adam, and in fact did get carried away in a couple shots, but Tim seemed to enjoy it. Tim Guinea's a very athletic mountain climber, actor. He's terrific in this role, and loved the physical parts that he could play.
You want to kill me? You go ahead and kill me. I don't know what you're talking about.
And there's our scenic view. I think Woods' character, Jack Crow, is an equal opportunity abuser. He abuses priests, women, other men, vampires, everybody. He doesn't pick or choose. So I feel as long as he's fair to everyone, there's nothing wrong with it. Now we're coming into the improvisation that I was talking about, beginning
You have to tell me what's going on, Mr. Crow.
with the next line.
Have you ever seen a vampire? No. Well, first of all, they're not romantic, all right? It's not like they're a bunch of fucking fags hopping around in rented formal wear and seducing everybody in sight with cheesy Eurotrash accents, all right? Forget whatever you've seen in the movies. They don't turn into bats. Crosses don't work. Garlic? You want to try garlic? You stand there with garlic around your neck. One of these buggers will bend you fucking over and take a walk up your strata chocolata while he's sucking the blood out of your neck, all right?
I'm not sure that the entire audience would understand what strata chocolata means, and I don't intend to explain it now, but this came out of Woods' imagination, and I was delighted with it. And now we're back to the script.
In the United States, as far back as the 1800s. Never seen this. No one has, outside the team. Look at the Southwest. See the spiral pattern? Yeah. If you time sequence all the encounters, you get a logarithmic pattern, ever widening.
One of the most difficult parts of this particular speech, as writing it, is the word pattern has to be used over and over again. I couldn't find a better word for it, because of my lack of ability as a screenwriter.
Something about a black cross, about vampires walking in the sunlight.
And now we've laid in the groundwork, the Black Cross and vampires walking in the sunlight, for the basic secret plot of the film. Valak, Thomas Ian Griffith, is searching for a cross that will allow him to live not only by night, but by day. Again, a ad-lib by Jimmy. And then we're going to begin the first of the visions Cheryl Lee's character sees through the eyes of Valak. This is some sort of telepathic link between them. The most difficult acting in this picture is done by Cheryl in reacting to these visions. We worked on that quite a bit. But you have to commit to it completely or it's going to be flat as a performance. In the background you're hearing a little piano piece that's meant to play under a sequence where the actors are talking
9:10.
and not get in the way, but yet give a kind of melancholy feel to it.
You want one? You gotta eat something.
I can't. Wouldn't mind a cigarette, though.
We're gonna have to work on this. The less you eat, the faster the virus moves through your bloodstream.
Virus?
Yeah, that's what I call it. Nobody knows what it really is. Poison.
And we introduced the idea of a virus, the vampirism being spread as a virus. That was, I believe, first introduced in a novel in the 50s by Richard Matheson called I Am Legend, and has been used several times since. I'm not sure that's the explanation in our film, but I sort of threw it in as a
So you remember now.
scientific deal here in the middle of all this supernatural going on.
Why doesn't anyone know?
Nobody wants to know. That's how vampires survive. They're smart. They keep their numbers low, live in small bands, and the real world never catches on.
Will I end up being one?
I don't know for sure. Probably. Unless we find him before you turn, then maybe there's a chance. Look, here's what we do know. You're connected to the master vampire now.
A lot of information being conveyed to Cheryl and the audience in this particular sequence, and Daniel's doing a really terrific job, as is Cheryl.
You may not.
Can I get dressed now?
Sure.
Could you get me a towel or something, maybe?
It's not like I haven't seen you naked.
Fuck it.
All right. Easy. I'll get you a towel. One towel coming right up. I won't pee.
Daniel's imitating me there with that easy. I tend to say that a lot on the set. Now we're coming into another vision here. In the bathroom vision.
Nice try. Leave the door open.
No way.
A little bit.
We're going to see the death of the cleaning lady. This is all shot with a Panaglide, rushing across the street. Ooh, dear. Originally, we shot this as one continuous shot that went all the way up to the priest here, but we intercut to kind of pick up the tempo. And now Cheryl's going to attempt a suicide, and Daniel's going to rescue her. We shot all of this on location except the point of views out the window, which were second unit daytime shots. A little handheld action here as we follow Daniel from his chair all the way through. Daytime on location, back to the set.
Oh, God, do it! Damn it! Let me go! Let me go!
And we injured one of the stuntmen coming through this window. Unfortunately, I haven't really had any injuries in my bang. There he goes. And he was hurt afterwards. Luckily, I didn't have too many injuries in my career. That was one of them. And now she's, perhaps by instinct, had a little bit of a drink there. And now Daniel's going to apply a little misogyny here.
Fucking bite me!
Called Whack. And if you look up, you'll see the lights of the set that we caught as we panned around. Perhaps you won't see it. There it is in the background there. And Daniel has a special gel on his hand that will allow you to, for about 5 seconds, put a flame to it. Being the very competitive person that Daniel is, he decided to go for 8 to 10 seconds. And he's really beginning to feel the flame at one point there. The next day he had a pretty good welt on his arm.
Stupid whore. Ah.
This entire sequence is set bound. We're about to go exterior here to Jimmy and Tim.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Room 312.
All right, I'm coming up. Stay put.
I'm Father Adam Guitoy. You're on Tony Montoya, I believe. You look different than your picture.
And now this, the new team is basically assembled. They're the Bookworm, the two Slayers, and the bitten girl.
Montoya, what's this bruise on her jaw?
And Daniel's character is hiding the fact that he's been bitten from
I had to pull her off the edge of the fire escape.
from Jimmy.
Then I fell through the window.
And in a second, you're going to see another improvisation from Woods, the whacking of the priest with a telephone. Something that Jimmy just came up with on the spot. He's an incredibly inventive actor and uses props that are around to enhance his performance.
Who cares?
So, new Padre. We've been ordered back to Monterey. Rebuild a team, start over.
We're going back to Monterey?
No. Callahan's whole team is gone. Slaughtered.
So it's just us now.
That's right.
Who is she?
Some hooker. Bitten by Valak. These vampires are psychically linked to each other. As soon as she hooks into Valak, we go looking for him.
I think that's the third time we've heard this information, but
Yeah, fuck you,
the old rule is 3 times, and the audience
Bro, if you're not going to follow orders, I'm going to have to call Cardinal Albert.
gets it. Now here's the phone whacking.
Excuse me. Language. A little chat about language. Shall we? See if the syntax works for you. You don't make a phone call. You don't blow your nose. You don't wipe your ass. Unless I tell you. Okay?
And John Furlong is playing the elderly priest, Father Molina, who is going to have his head removed from his body. As soon as he indicates to Thomas Ian Griffith where the location of the cross, again we're into another vision.
Show me.
Shot from a Panaglide. And the next sequence coming up is a terrific one for Cheryl. She's in the middle of a trance. This is very difficult for her to do.
Can you hear me? What is it?
Had focus problems with some of her shots, but we had to call around and find the ones that did manage to land in focus.
Katrina, what are you saying?
I can't.
Yes, you can, honey. You're here with us now and you're safe. Now, where is he? What are you seeing?
It's dark. Troy. There's a map. There's a circle on the map.
John Furlong is about to be dispatched here with the help of Greg Nicotero.
Come on. You want to switch places? Just come on.
Katrina, listen very carefully now. I need to know exactly where you are. What you're seeing right now. Details.
Zip.
He killed the priest!
All right.
It was definitely an out-of-focus shot there, but we kept it brief. Very difficult to keep focus and act at the same time.
There's a sign on the highway that says San Miguel.
San Miguel? San Miguel? Come on. Hey, come on. Keep trying. You have to.
I can't.
God damn it.
Jack, link's broken.
What priest is she talking about? God damn it!
I can get a list of all the churches in San Miguel County if you'll let me use the phone and call the Archdiocese office.
Get it. Call every church. Find one where an old padre is missing. Road trip, Montoya. Your job is to watch this girl. God damn it! Hey, what's wrong with you?
I'm just tired.
Daniel, of course, is hiding the secret here that he is definitely on his way to becoming a vampire.
Something you want to tell me?
Nothing you want to listen to, man.
Yeah, I got the bags this morning from the Cardinal's office in Santa Fe. You're a...
We're on location here in basically a condemned church.
Pattern of anti-Catholic hate crimes.
This particular church is not used anymore because it's going to fall apart, but naturally they let us come in there.
Oh God, Lord, always merciful, forgiving.
What about the old priest? Any of this blood his?
His name is Father Molina.
Not to betray them to the enemy.
Sorry.
That I deliver them.
Listen, you get something on this case, you're going to share it with me, right?
That's right.
I'd better not find out different.
You won't.
Okay. So far, it looks like all this blood's from Mrs. Fisher. We're not going to know that for sure until we get a sample through pathology.
Is anything stolen?
Just Father Molina.
We found him.
On location on a Native American reservation. Real live wash, phony rubber head and body.
Now get this. Why come all the way to North Podunk and attack some old small-town priest?
It's Jeff Baxter you're hearing on the soundtrack playing
Valak didn't feed on either. Father Molina
pedal
was
steel
well
and
early Catholic history in the United
slide
States.
guitar.
What's the point?
I don't know what the point. I don't know why Valak killed him.
What's the symbol?
Cardinal told you the church doesn't know.
I don't think you and the Cardinal are lying sacks of shit. Come on, Padre, help me. The hour's getting late.
It's a medieval astronomical sign. For the sun.
Two matching zoom shots. I usually don't use those. I abhor them, but in this movie seemed appropriate. We're in another helicopter shot. Real wolf. And up come the masters. This is a terrifying scene to do because we had to bury the actors live in the middle of the daytime under the earth. It tests your ability and your patience and your claustrophobia as a human being. I personally would not want to be buried alive in a desert, but the actors were willing to do it. I had to do this several times. A couple of times they couldn't get up out of the ground. And they're buried fairly deep. Jeff Amata created this stunt in a way of letting them breathe. They all had walkie-talkies down there. And we queued them up.
7 more with him now. Powerful.
Are they masters?
Yes.
And the magic of Gary Kibbe is giving the illusion of the dusk walk. All of this is shot in the daytime, bright daylight. And beautiful, photogenic Santa Fe. Another second unit shot by Sandy King. And the revamped motel set. This is another motel, but we use the same one that we used earlier. Again, this is an example of a sequence with James Woods abusing Tim Guinea. But Woods improvised the use of the towel in this scene. I thought it was very inventive of him.
No, you won't.
And Tim really enjoyed getting the abuse. Part of his nature.
I serve a higher master than you. Any secrets I keep are kept to protect the church and its followers. Part of your...
Open your mouth.
What?
Open your mouth. Hiya. Give me a hand. You listen to me. Fuck! My father kept a secret once. He'd been bitten by a vampire.
Now we learn Woods' motivation and why he is such a savage person. Both of his parents were turned into vampires.
I killed my own father, Padre. I got no trouble killing you. Last chance.
Woods really relishes these scenes, enjoys them.
No! You ready? What? Excuse me, what?
Alec is looking for an ancient relic to cross a Berzier.
And the piece of music that you're hearing right now, just to put a little plug in, was written by my son, Cody. He was 13 at the time, and improvised on the synthesizer.
Exorcism was performed using an ancient, forbidden form of the ceremony. It was long and very brutal.
I performed the background supporting material, but this is Cody's piece. Now we're into a night attack on a mission.
The wooden gate is opening.
Shot with a Panaglide and various handheld cameras, staged by Jeff Amata.
The body is destroyed.
Stuntman I've worked with since Big Trouble in Little China.
The exorcism transformed Valak into a creature.
And at the same time, you're hearing basic plot given by Tim Guinea. If you notice, every time we cut back to the bathroom, the lighting is wrong because I stupidly mistimed the light cue. But the audiences don't seem to matter too much. Don't seem to mind too much. Ooh, lots of mayhem. Some of the sequences are a little lighter than others. This was an all-night shoot, and the sun was up at one point, but hopefully we cut it fast enough. And there's the Berzier cross. I'm told it's not pronounced Berzier, but what do the French know anyway? If you look carefully, you'll see a little blue sunlight above there. It was only for a second. That's not bad. Being too hard on myself. Here we go with the
stories you heard about the Black Cross are true. It was used in Valak.
Exposition on the Black Cross.
It's known as the Berzier Cross. The cross was then shipped to the New World. It was moved over the years from one Spanish mission to another. Its exact location was kept secret even from the Vatican. For hundreds of years it was lost. And recently, Cardinal Alba discovered the name of the only living priest who knew the location of the cross.
I have to give credit to Edward Shulka Jr. He's been my editor for several years, and he managed to fix all the mistakes that I make as a director and One of them in this particular sequence was one of the hardest to cut together. But he managed to make it into a coherent whole.
You're a good man, Padre. Welcome to the team. God forgive me.
He found it.
Let's hit it.
Wait, stop the car. That way.
The sequence took several days to shoot, including the night portion. Again, it was condensed by Ed Werschelke to play as quickly and as powerfully as we could make it. The blood in the fountain indicates the slaughter. It's extremely hot when we're shooting this, and the poor extras and stunt people have to lay there in the sun dead and not move and not breathe.
It was here.
In the following sequence, here the stakes are going to be upped, and Daniel Baldwin basically sides with the girl. And his feelings for her become a little bit more out in the open.
She hasn't turned yet, Jack. She just can't eat.
Well, maybe what she really wants is a little human blood. What do you think?
I said she hasn't turned
I heard
yet.
what you said.
Little stage line problem there, but by cutting quickly, Ed got around it.
Back off.
What's with you?
What do you mean, what's with me? What's with you? You're being such a fucking asshole.
The fuck is your problem? You're not starting to fall for this half-dead little hole. Nice shot.
Once again, Tim Guinea bites the dust here.
What are you doing? Looks like we're about to have one fuck of a good fight. No!
Do you know why Valak wants the Berzier Cross? Think about it for a minute.
And finally, here at the end of Act 2, Tim Guinea gives us the exposition we need to carry us all the way through to the final sequence in the film.
I think the balance shifts. For 600 years, Valak has wanted to find a way to live in the daylight. Now with the Berzier Cross, he will. A master vampire, able to walk in the sun, unstoppable, unless we stop him.
I guess we'll have to finish this some other time.
And now our team, as tenuous as their relations are, have to go forward to slay the vampires. And we're into the Cerrillos sequence. Cerrillos is a small town outside of
That's where he is.
Santa Fe. We call it Santiago.
Santiago.
The music you're hearing now is a piece that I'm playing on synthesizer, and Jeff Baxter's playing pedal steel. My thought was, again, one of my favorite movies, Rio Bravo. Dmitri Tiomkin was the composer on that film. He wrote a piece of music called Deguello, a very beautiful Mexican piece that I thought of when I was doing this sequence, cementing the idea that this is a Western. It's a beautiful location. Mary's Bar there we're pulling up in front of. We built the jail across the street in an empty lot. I first scouted the location. It looked pristine until I walked into the bar and saw posters of the Young Guns up on the wall and realized this place had been shot 100 times. Unfortunate part of this particular location is that it's a street that runs north and south. And the sun comes up behind the buildings and goes down behind the set that you see there, and only in midday can you get a shot with no shadows. So we had to plan our shooting around where the shadows would be. And we're inside the bar with the Young Guns poster taken down. Nice green door.
Hello?
What do you figure the population of this jerkwater is? 20?
I say 30, maybe more. Now the question is, how many of them are goons?
Worst case scenario, half. 15 dead, 15 goons.
If you took the whole town, Valak would have had to have been here, what, several days?
This entire exterior sequence was shot over a period of about
Slowly, one goon at a time.
2 weeks,
Now he's got the cross.
including the night sequences.
Drinking motherfuckers the world has ever known. What do we got? 3 slayers.
2 slayers.
Matching the light
Time to
became
kill some vampires.
extremely difficult in New Mexico. At least when we were there in Santa Fe, it would rain every afternoon at some point. We'd have to stop and wait it out or run inside and shoot a scene. The weather was unpredictable, the sky was unpredictable, but it turned out well. This is one of those shots done in total shadow with a lot of lighting in the background. We begin the slow zoom sequence again.
Everywhere.
Katrina, baby, listen.
If you look at the buildings in the background, there's a lot of light pumped into them, as is there a lot of light on the front here, as we're in dead shadow.
The dark.
Good girl. And the best constructed building in town is?
And there's how it really looks, the sun dead overhead.
She senses him in there.
Think she's telling the truth?
Yeah.
Suppose he's taking control of her. What if he's using her?
Then I guess I'll pay with my life, won't I?
You're not the only one, amigo. You're not the only one.
As we gear up to go inside,
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. It's gonna be all right. I'll take care of you. I promise.
and here they go. It's again the cheesy Roadhouse blues music in the background. This particular part of the set was built on location. Beyond that door is a bit of a hallway, but we're going to be moving into our soundstage here pretty quickly. And now we're on stage. going to begin an extended action sequence that was shot over many weeks, both on location and in the soundstage.
She's thirsty. She smells your blood, Padre. Take the woman, Montoya! Cocksucker, come on! Come on!
During a lot of this sequence, we had two stages going. We'd go in and shoot on this stage and then run over and shoot on another, trying to finish on time. It all seemed to cut together in the editing room, luckily.
With the stake! Kill him with the stake! Through the heart!
Any action scene, of course, is dependent upon sound effects to really sell it.
How do you like your steak, bitch?
These are all phony weapons and phony blood, but we're going to set another actress on fire. Always makes me nervous when we do this. And the elevator sequence was one of the most difficult to pull off, generally because we didn't want to use a real elevator, so we constructed a set where the background moved for the top of the elevator.
Attach the cable right to the Jeep. Do it fast. Just yank him right out to the sun.
Someone's gonna have to drive the Jeep.
And that particular part was shot by Jeff Amata and Sandy King while I was shooting something else on another stage.
Yes. Okay, when they get inside the elevator, one of us goes up through the hole. The other guy's up here.
This particular shot was done to make up for lost time because we had gotten behind shooting the action, so the actors played all the dialogue, which was about a page and a half or 2 pages, in one shot on a Monday morning. I promised I'd let them go early on Friday if they did it in one take, and they did extremely well. You can always bribe actors by letting them go early.
Katrina, listen to me. You've got to try to hold on, okay?
You seen Valak? Nothing yet. Anything? There.
All the material on the TV monitors and everything that takes place in the elevator and on the lower floors was basically this same set that you're seeing here redressed.
I used to play soccer.
And we came in on a Saturday and shot it without any sound equipment, just simply silent. And we put everything in later.
Shoot when the door opens. You can count on that.
Padre.
I know. Okay.
Montoya, it's on his way down.
Hooked and ready, Jack.
And the elevator doors were, of course, a big problem because you have stagehands who are opening and closing those things, this being a set. Here's the Saturday shoot without sound and a minimal crew. The movie was, Vampires is made on a relatively modest budget. We were just under about $20 million. Many films, that's the price of the leading actor.
What are you doing?
Get back in the fucking elevator!
This is the famous top of the elevator set where you've got your walls in the background sliding down. They're simply made out of canvas, and every once in a while you can see a little seam going by, but we cut it as quickly and made it as dark as we could, so that hopefully it worked. I have donated this set since to USC, my former alma mater, so the students can use it if they want to have a cheesy top of an elevator set. Contrary to popular opinion, it's difficult to do a crossbow in a movie because that is a real crossbow. So every time James Woods is shooting, there's a gigantic target off screen that he's aiming at. Then we began to bet, see if he could hit, and he actually hit one in the bullseye. Now goes another vampire to be burned. Stuntman is set upon fire. And then we cut to the Greg Nicotero dummy burning.
Padre, you okay? Yeah, you didn't bite or scratch you. Okay, come on. No, keep the doors! No! Shit, sorry. Monitors.
And handheld here to try to save a little time.
Sorry about the doors.
No harm, no foul, Padre. You did good in there.
I have to do it again, don't I? Shit, we're running out of time.
And this is Anita Hart hanging on the bottom of the elevator, supposedly. Although it isn't really a bottom of an elevator, it's a phony platform that moves up and down.
Jack, you should look at this. What?
I'm not quite sure why these doors explode, but it looked so good, we had to do it. I guess she's so powerful that she blows them open. Famous James Woods riding along on Anita sequence, rather than drag the two actors, I had walls of the set constructed on a dolly and simply moved the walls in the background while the actors are still. I'll indicate where that happens.
I didn't know that you could do that. Get away!
We have a couple of shots setting it up with a drag, but the wall is moving in the background in that shot, and they're staying still. Occasionally you can see a seam go by. Another actress bites the dust. And now with a dissolve,
Look at the sun!
trying to tie together the lateness of the hour,
We're finished.
although it's bright sunlight back there.
Rule number 10, Jack.
It isn't in that shot.
You can't kill a master at night. It's over.
He's right, Padre. Let's go.
If you look at the sky in some of these shots, you'll see that it is broad daylight out there, but we had to A lot of filter work and try to avoid the direct sunlight. Some of these shots are at night.
Hello, Jack.
Heavy filter on that particular shot. Bright daylight, night, bright daylight, night, day, day, night. And seamlessly try to tie it all together.
Your war is over, Crusader.
This was James Woods' last shot in the movie. Now we're into a night sequence, which the MPAA made me cut back extensively. Of all the violence in the film, they felt this particular bite right there was a little bit too extreme as it went on a little bit long. Now we're into our extended night sequence, shot at various times throughout the production. If you listen carefully, you'll hear a little purr here from Sheryl Lee, who was delighted to be able to play a vampire at this point and leave her victimhood behind. And that's her right on location. Night in Cerrillos is extremely cold. And the entire crew is bundled up. And now we reveal the betrayal.
Hello, Jack. From your expression, I assume you couldn't possibly understand my presence here.
The background music that you're hearing throughout these sequences is the most extensive and that I did. I'm trying to stay out of the way as a composer so you can listen to the music, but at the same time set the tone for the scene.
Is there a God? Is there a heaven? I can no longer answer this for certain. I've witnessed no miracles, had no visions.
Disconsolate feel and sadness at the same time, maintaining a theme that you can follow, but not particularly overdone, hopefully. Maximilian Schell and I talked about this particular sequence and the reason for his wanting to live forever, and we both decided we'd give it a try if it was presented to us.
And I can live with that. After I've given Valek what he wants, he will fulfill our bargain. And I will be transformed into one of his new children. It's beautiful, isn't it? Eternal life. Immortality can change your heart.
Valek, why don't you prove you can kick my ass? Come on, untie me. Now, come on. Fucking pole-smoking fashion victim. Come on over here.
Jack.
Come on, 5 minutes and you can bite my ass a little. Would you like that? See me all tied up, huh?
Another improvisation from Woods.
Come on, untie me, you prick.
Perhaps this will help. Apparently your friend is one of my
It's
children.
freezing cold during this particular shot.
You are alone, Crusader.
This particular shot was done in a soundstage poor man's process, meaning that there's black in the background as opposed to rear projection or front screen. Daniel cauterizes his neck. The idea of cauterizing a vampire bite really began, as I remember it, in a movie called Brides of Dracula back in 1960. And I sort of appropriated it for this.
The fuck do you want from me, Valak?
You hate me so, don't you? But you made me, Crusader.
Thomas finally gets to have a few lines and dish it out a little bit.
Because it is superior to you. For 600 years, I fed on your kind and will.
Why don't you just kill me and get it over with?
Because you're needed, Jack. The ceremony is a reenactment of the original exorcism. It requires the blood of a crusader and his crucifixion upon a burning cross. The climax of the ceremony must coincide with the first rays of the rising sun. Sorry, Jack.
We're winding up for the final sequence before the denouement. Bits and pieces of this were shot both on location and in the studio. Again, stuck into a ceremony that is supposedly some sort of a ritual. We use dissolves to stay away from having to show it completely. And we're trying to show that the sun is rising so that the ceremony is taking place basically right before dawn. And Tim Guinea can become the hero priest. As you can see, it's light behind him, and it's night here. He was shot in a completely different location.
Padre! Now what are you gonna do, Valak? You got nobody to complete your ritual! The sun's starting to rise!
You will finish the ritual.
Try and make me! Attaboy, Padre, fuck with him! Hey, Valak. You're shit out of luck, pal. Give it up! No. Finish it! No!
At this point in the film, we need to drive to the final confrontation between Jimmy Woods and Thomas Ian Griffith. And there was a bet going that for about $150, as I recall, that Daniel could shoot the crossbow right above Woods' head. Of course, it wasn't Woods, it was a dummy, the Woods dummy, as we call it. That is Woods' dummy there being jerked off. It would snap anyone's neck when in reality.
Padre, don't kill some vampires.
And this particular sequence was written a little bit more elaborately than we allowed in the movie. The movie was getting long and we needed to compress a little time, so with dissolves and running and indicating that the sun is rising. Now we're going to cut to a set right here, which was built outside the sound stages. The collapsing ceiling, meant to be a garage. Shooting this sequence went over a little bit because we had to hoist Thomas up on a crane.
You still with us, Crow?
I don't burn so good these days, bloodsucker.
Give me the cross.
This cross. Let me just ask you one thing. After 600 years, how's that dick working? Pretty good? Huh? Come on.
The cross!
Thomas is being held up by a wire that we had to remove digitally. Occasionally you'll see the rubber cross moving here, but we try to cut around it fast enough.
You can't kill me.
The very final act by Crow here to destroy Valak was derived, I suppose, from a 1958 Hammer film called Horror of Dracula, starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing rips a cloth off a window, and I just had him knock the ceiling in. Poor Thomas is rigged up with a lot of flame, and then we cut to the dummy.
Jesus.
And we're coming up on the final sequence of Vampires, which is
It's gonna be okay.
again
We'll be right back.
a reference back to a Howard Hawks movie called Red River. John Wayne and Montgomery Clift having a confrontation in the end, and the resolution. Problem with this scene, as I remember it, is the Cardinal Alba dummy lying over there. It wasn't a particularly well articulated dummy, and Maximilian Schell had already gone back to Europe, so we had to make the best of it.
You look like shit, Montoya. Where you going?
South.
You love her that much.
The dialogue in this scene was contributed to a great extent by Daniel Baldwin and James Woods and Tim Guinea. They improvised this before we started shooting, and it's slightly different than the screenplay.
Rule number one. If your partner is ever bitten by a vampire, never let him live.
And one of the disturbing things, I think, to some of the younger audiences is the fact that Jimmy Woods lets Daniel Baldwin go. I was trying to indicates something about loyalty and love.
Meanwhile, she hides in the back of the van.
And I suppose in
Try to catch it by nightfall, is that it?
the real world, perhaps he would have killed him on the spot, but
When did she first bite you?
2 days ago. I still covered your ass.
Yes, you did.
the little Spanish theme playing in the background. Overtly heroic, I suppose.
What'd you say, Padre?
I've got 2 days.
Made very sweet and pure by Jeff Baxter's pedal steel guitar.
Wherever you go, I will find you. I will hunt you down. And I will kill you.
Daniel Baldwin's character in a moment will look up as if to say, "Where's God?" Right there. Has he deserted me?
Vaya que Dios, my friend.
The door to the truck never really closed, so we had to close it off screen. And the truck would never start up, so we had to start it up off screen. And pull down the street 2 feet and shut it off and stop so that they can continue their dialogue.
You up for it? Guess so.
And a hopeful sign that Tim Guinea came up with was pulling the crucifix out of his pocket, indicating his belief in God. And
Fair enough, Padre.
Let me ask you a question. When you were stabbing that
from
man,
here on is a looped
did you get a little wood?
sequence.
Excuse me? Ebony. What? Tea.
And we're about to end the movie
That's by demons?
panning up
Language.
into the sunlight to the sound of the Texas Toad Lickers playing the Roadhouse Blues again. And I want to thank all of you for watching this narrated version of Vampires. I enjoyed making the movie a great deal and enjoyed working with the cast. They were extraordinary. Director of photography, the production designer, the editor, all of my technical people were brilliant, and as usual, they made me look good. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the movies.